Hi, I'm Nan Simonsen. I'm a life, sorry, um, I'm sorry. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. Uh, and I am here with a group of people I meet with every Thursday, and we're called the PowerPoint Group, Points of Interest as it relates to lifestyle as medicine. And this subject relates to lifestyle and relates to health and relates to mental health and happiness and well-being. It just kind of encompasses everything. I, if you don't know who Mel Robbins is, she was an attorney for decades, and she's an entrepreneur. She's an author. She has what, four or five New York best-selling books, and she has a podcast. And I was watching one of her podcasts, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm going to give the basics of it because just the basics of it will give you something to start with and hopefully pique your interest in. And then I'm going to also in the show notes put in or in the description, I'm going to have a outline of just the eight um, things to tell yourself every morning. And so I'll just list that out and so that you can make a copy of it. I'll have a link for that and a link for the show that she was on. It was her own, just it wasn't an interview, it was her talking. And I think you'll get so much out of this. I've listened to it a couple of times and I'll probably listen to it again. So I'm going to share and bring you on to a PowerPoint that I put together that will allow me to go through this, what she calls programming. Um, and let me get all of this out of the way. And I'm going to begin. One of the things that she repeated throughout this podcast was that not only was this scientifically based and all of her scientific references and the people that she was referring to that she learned these things from are in her, it's like 1 hour, 8 minute talk and very, very well worth it. I think you all know how to do this to go to settings and then speed. I usually listen to just about everything unless somebody's really fast. Like Dr. Brooke Goldner is so fast that then I can't understand what she's saying. So I stick with normal or regular, what they call it. Maybe it's normal. But I listen to almost everything at 1.25 so that I can get in an hour in what amounts to 45 minutes. And so I think it sort of works that way. So you can do that if you're ever thinking, oh, I shall have an hour to do it. But as she said of herself, she said, I have reprogrammed myself to be in a good mood for no reason. And she said, what I have come to understand from decades of my own life is that many people go through life waiting for the next shoe to drop, and that these recommendations I'm about to give can turn that around. So I will give you the first one. And what she says is, and this she learned from Dr. Amen, this sentence. What she said is, if you begin every day with a thought and or with a comment or a statement or even write it down. And again, you're going to get a link with it written down, just listed. So you can write it down if you want now, but you're going to get that. And that is to start every day with the comment, today is going to be a great day. Because what we tend to do is we program our mind based on quite often old programming, old fears, uh, protective thoughts so that we don't get disappointed. And this actually sets up, and this is all neuroscience, sets up positive expectations in our brain, even if things are hard and your attitude um, going into the day is one maybe of dread, simply by making a statement, you know what? Today is going to be a great day. Your attitude can shape how the day goes because it starts directing your brain to look for reasons the day is going to be great. Now, this sounds way too simplistic, but it's absolutely the way our brain works. We set up a thought, and our brain will go to prove it true, whether it's negative or it's positive. And the more you do it, the more your brain gets used to that. So that's one. And she's giving 8 statements that we can start the day with. I call them what did I wrote down? Um, well, you can say them as a paragraph of positivity, or you can use them as an outline for optimism. So let's go to the second one. All right, I've got to get my toolbar out of the way. No matter what happens today, I can handle it. That's a palm tree in the middle of a blustery storm. And the point here is that that statement, no matter what happens today, I can handle it, encourages anticipation and openness, being ready for whatever happens. It shifts mindset from expecting the worst to expecting possibility. It helps you notice opportunities or small positive moments you might otherwise miss. In other words, it's a gift, even for the smallest things. You know what I think I did? I think I missed something. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Oh, shoot. I'm going back now. Something cool is going to happen for me today. That's the one that encourages, but actually, okay, I jumped ahead. I used the wrong descriptives, but by the same token, all of this applies all the way through just about everything we're going to talk about today. In other words, if something cool is going to happen and we believe it, we're again going into our day with anticipation. We're looking for um, the best to happen and we're open to it. It helps us notice opportunities in even the smallest moments that we would, again, otherwise miss. And even accepting the smallest things, maybe noticing a beautiful bloom as a gift. And then we'll go to the next one. And then, no matter what happens today, I can handle it. And the descriptive behind that is that if we go into the day with that kind of a no matter what, I can handle it view of the day, it helps build resilience and confidence. No matter what, I'm tough. I can do this. Acknowledges the challenges that may arise, asserts our capacity to face them, and then helps reduce morning anxiety by reframing uncertainty. In other words, I can handle anything today. Fear ends up taking a back seat to almost anticipation and a rugged, hardy determination to go forward no matter what. The next one, number 4, is an exciting chapter in my life is starting today, an exciting new chapter. What is it that I've been thinking about, in other words, that maybe I'm stepping back from one thing, but I'm going into something else brand new. An exciting new chapter in my life is starting today. It invites change and growth. It helps you break out of feeling stuck or repeating the same patterns, and it gives permission to make new choices, even small ones that signal something fresh is beginning. Number 5, I need to give myself credit for how hard I'm trying. This acknowledges effort. So many times we feel like we're putting in effort and we're not seeing results and we're questioning our abilities or excuse me, some little thing makes us feel less than capable. Well, this acknowledges effort, not just outcomes. It counters self criticism and overlooking of our progress by reinforcing the fact that just trying, even if imperfectly, matters. Excuse me. Number six, I'm allowed to be a work in progress. In other words, I am on my way to becoming whatever it is I want to become, whoever it is I want to be, and in whatever amount of time it may take. When I wrote my book, Aging Powerfully, I was about to turn 70. And I said in the next 1, 2, or 3 decades, or for the next 1, 2, or 3 decades, I've got a mission, and that's to pass on the information and hopefully live the life of lifestyle as medicine so that people would realize there is so much we can do to stay healthy in our life. Well, I'm about to turn 75 and I'm looking at that again and thinking, what more can I do? In other words, I say to myself now on a regular basis, okay, I'm a work in progress. What's now? What's going to be the next chapter? Let's say the next 5 years, taking me to 80, and then I'll look at that chapter. What about you? What and where are you in your life that you can say to yourself, I'm a work in progress. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I want to take on. It gives you permission to grow and evolve. It reduces pressure of perfectionism. It helps you accept that mistakes or not, having it all together are part of the journey. Number seven, if I keep showing up, life will reward me. That's a deep-seated belief that regardless of where I am now, where we are in our journey in life, just showing up is half of the game. If I keep showing up, life will reward me. As surely as if I plant these seeds and I do my due diligence to keep them moist and in enough light, I'm going to get a crop from it. Well, this focuses on consistency over perfectionism. It emphasizes that small, steady efforts accumulate, and it builds trust in the process and patience and persistence that it takes for us to, well, to start seeing the kinds of outcomes that we see maybe at the top of the pinnacle rather than that climb that sometimes we feel takes forever. And then number eight, I have an important contribution to make to the world. If every one of us, and I want you to listen to her podcast and you'll hear her say, there are 8 billion people in the world. And then she said, does anybody else have your genes? Does anybody else have, and I'm just paraphrasing, your mind? Does anybody else have your love for others? Does anybody else have your fingerprints, your footprints, your face? No, you're one in 8 billion. Knowing that and believing, accepting that we have an important contribution to make to the world allows us to appreciate whatever it is in whatever way we can put forth the fact that we are invaluable and that we matter. It reminds you that you matter and that your actions have value, encourages um, serving and engaging and sharing in your own way. And this helps with feeling purposeful and connected. So if we look back at them again and imagine yourself every morning waking up. Why the morning? Because as she said, it has been studied that we are most receptive to either negative or positive talk first thing in the morning before you do anything else. As Dr. Amen does, wake up, stretch your arms, and say, today is going to be a great day. Something cool is going to happen for me today. No matter what happens, though, I can handle it. An exciting new chapter in my life is starting today. Even a little change can be a new chapter. I need to give myself more credit for how hard I'm trying. I think I'm pretty good for sticking things out and being really diligent in my decisions. I'm allowed to be a work in progress, and if I keep showing up, life will reward me. I have an important contribution to this world. Those are the 8 statements. You can make them into a paragraph. You can list them off one by one. You can write them down. You can say them out loud. And then understand that those 8 things we tell ourselves every morning can totally change our life. And in her description, as she talks about each one, she gives credit to the neuroscientists, psychiatrists, the world leaders who have taught that these simple statements are 100% capable of helping us rewire our brain and to teach us how we can reprogram the way we think from waking up daily, maybe insecure with what the day could lead, maybe even fearful, to someone who takes on the day knowing that one way or the other, we are going to revel in it. So I'm going to come back to you. That is a quick overview of what I loved from her conversation. Those 8 sentences make a huge difference, but the way she lays it out is quite remarkable. So, as I said, in your description, you're going to have a link for that and the 8 that you can simply print out from a Word document or a PDF. I'm not sure the way or how I'll put it out there. And I'll encourage you to consider aging powerfully. Again, 5 years later, I'm still on the same track, believing the same thing, and that is that the way we move in our lives physically, meaning exercise, the way we eat, preferably plant forward, plant based, plant exclusive, which I have been now for 7 years, the way we connect with others, how close we hold others, how close they hold us, our involvement in others, our willingness to share, and sleep and stress management and avoiding addictive substances. Those are the pillars of getting through our life healthy, happy, balanced, resilient, and then adopting things that we can do on a regular basis for stress management as well as just embracing everyday life. Well, I hope you got something out of this. And I wish you a great day because I know I'm going to have one. And I want to thank you for joining me. Bye bye.